Hello, art historians. Welcome back. We are in week 4, module 8, unit 1. So this unit we're going to be learning about just the tail end of medieval art before we move right along into the Renaissance. And so you can sort of think of this almost like the proto or pre-Renaissance. So the title for this unit's materials is module 8, medieval art part 4, and indigenous Americas part 1. So we are looking at medieval art 6, 8.01, Trecento, Italy. And we've got 7 core works and 2 supplemental works for this unit with a date range of around 1225 to 1340 CE, with the location mostly being in Italy. So I am going to list these works in order of artists because we've got lots of smaller scale works all attributed to specific people. It takes a little while to get that far in art history, and so the fact that we're here, let's give him credit where credit is due. So we've got Berlingueri's St. Francis altarpiece, we've got Cimabue's Virgin, Child, and Prophets, and we've got 2 pieces by Giotto, the Ognissanti Madonna and the Scrovegni Chapel. We've got Duccio's Maesta, and Simone Martini's Annunciation, as well as Ambrogio Lorenzetti's allegory works. And your supplemental works include Duccio's Rucellai Madonna, Giotto's St. Francis of Assisi receiving the Stigmata. So there are a lot of major artists emerging from this era of this Italian proto-Renaissance. These are the people who are setting the stage for what is to come. They're moving well beyond what we saw in that medieval era, and they're working towards that sense of perfection. The Renaissance is a rebirth of art. It's a redo, a look back to the classical artists, what worked so well for them and why they're so remembered today. And so Renaissance is essentially a revival of that. And that's what these artists are kind of setting the stage for. So they will define where the rebirth of art will take us. And so you've got some really major names here. Giotto is a huge one. I had the joy of seeing some of his fresco works in the museum that actually accompanies the Gallery Accademia with Michelangelo's David in it. So I'll post pictures of that. His Scrovegni Chapel is kind of an interesting one. This was commissioned by a family who was accused of usury, or essentially being really bad at being a bank or a tax collector, where you are taking more cuts than you should. And so this figure is, or this family member is attempting to atone for those sins. And so he's creating a private chapel dedicated only to worship. We've got some really important frescoes with some really important compositional elements happening. Please take a look at the Lamentation. The Lamentation will show you that device where we've got these invisible diagonal lines all pointing to JC. He's always the focus of artwork, so it's really good to see what kind of techniques are being employed to emphasize that. We've also got the application of fresco. Fresco is a plaster material in which pigment is mixed, and that is all applied to a wall, which is now permanently affixed to the wall. Now, that seems already difficult, but to make matters even harder, the mix of water with that lime plaster is very dependent on location and weather. For example, if you were to be working in Florence and then were to go to Rome to create, and Vatican City to create work for the Pope, a different amount of water and plaster would be combined. If you mess up that mixture, you could result in mold actually occurring on your fresco mural, which then needs to be taken down. So we are moving into the fresco style of, or media of choice, I guess you could say. One name I also wanted to bring up too, we've got this Rucellai name, and so they are also a major wealthy family that is living in Florence at the time. You can see their palazzo if you were to go to Florence, but they're a very wealthy merchant family. And last but not least, I wanted to mention St. Francis of Assisi. So he is a saint who is actually known for in his personification of that typical monk kind of look. I will post a picture of my personal monk collection, one of which I actually got when I went to Assisi back in 2019 in between journeying from Venice to Florence. And he is a really amazing patron of dedicating his life to helping people and to bringing them into the faith. And his basilica that is located in Assisi is also super awesome, great, amazing frescoes. It's a lovely little site. So I hope you enjoy learning about what is to kind of precursor or set the stage for the Renaissance. We will touch base about the Renaissance when we move into our next module, when we get to the Northern Renaissance artist at the end of Module 9. So until then, bye!